kinakatawan din dito, yung nagturo muna ng public funds natin. Wala nang pera mga Pilipino. Ang dami na nilang inataw. Gutom na tao, and coming up here, I spoke to you briefly, and you just informed me, by next week, there will be another round of a fuel price increase. Ilang increase pa ba para matauhan sila na dapat ang tugunan muna itong hinaharap natin global economic, oil, and energy crisis, not this house show impeachment that they are now hearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Justice. What is sauce for the gander should be the sauce for the goose. Meaning, kung ano ang sukatan binigay mo kay Bongbong Marcos, ganun din dapat ang sukatan mo na binibigay kay Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Because falling short of that very same standard that they have used and observed just a few weeks back, then you are violating the equal protection of the law. Anong pagkakaiba ng Presidente sa Vice President? And we will not allow, again, as private citizens, as taxpayers, as Filipino citizens, as officer of the court, as member of the Philippine Bar, we will not allow any blatant prostitution. And finally, this is from my personal take on why I joined as petitioner in this petition for certiorari and prohibition. We are witnessing an excessive, malevolent, wanton waste of public funds. Krisis na tayo eh. Imbis na tugunan, yung naghihirap na kababayan, impeachment pa rin. Buti sana kung totoo. Kung meron man dapat ma-impeach, and I say this in front of you, it should be Bongbong Marcos and no other.
Any other follow-up question po?
Attorney, for instance,
Ma'am, can you approach the mic stand so that audible din po sa lahat, since we also have other friends of the media na listening sa Zoom. Thank you.
Attorney, follow-up for my first question. For instance, what if it will not granted the TRO? What is our next step?
That is very speculative, no? I will confer with my fellow petitioners if that will not be granted. Certainly, there will be remedies, and we will be availing those remedies. And we are confident that after our conference, we will be able to choose the best remedy that is best for a country like ours.
Any other questions?
I would like to add to the comment of Attorney Torion. The TRO or an injunction is not determinative as to the result of this petition. The court may not proceed with the TRO, but it may decide to rule later on the prayers of the petition. So, it is the choice of the court if it wants to grant the TRO or it wants to deliberate on the matter and decide later on. Now, I would like to add to the comment of Attorney Vic regarding equal protection of the laws. No? Under Article 3, Section 1 of the Philippine Constitution, all persons similarly situated must be treated alike under the law. If the Committee of Justice of the House of Representatives were liberal in their approach to the impeachment complaint against President Marcos, they cannot change the rule of the game and be strict in its applications against VP Sara. Example, during the study of the case against President Marcos, were there any issue as to a demand to subpoena the bank account of President Marcos? Baka may makita tayong maraming pera kung isinabina yung account ni President Marcos. Were there not any attempts to likewise expand the subpoena of Marcos, the immediate family? Baka may makita rin tayong maraming pera sa mga kamag-anak niya. Were there also attempt to expand a subpoena to look into the sum end of all the relatives in government of President Marcos. Bakit kay VP Sara lang? That is one major point in this petition. The equal protection clause of the Constitution must be respected. It cannot apply only against VP Sara if it has not been applied by the House of Representatives to a prior respondent in the person of President Marcos. Thank you.
Just a quick, so that the public can really have a grasp of what we are talking about here. What Attorney Vic Rodriguez was referring to vis-a-vis the Equal Protection Clause and explained further by Attorney J.D. Himlo was the ruling of the Committee on Justice before about the impeachment complaint against President Marcos. They issued Committee Resolution 111. And accordingly, according to the committee, the complaint against President Marcos was insufficient in substance, and therefore it was dismissed because it lacked ultimate facts which would describe the complaint as amounting to the crimes that are described under the 1987 Constitution as impeachable, such as graft and corruption, grave violation of the 1987 Constitution, bribery, other high crimes, etc. So, since the complaints there did not amount to ultimate facts describing the complaints as those crimes, similar to those crimes, or exactly those crimes, mandated or described in the 1987 Constitution, then therefore, the case was dismissed. And dito, ganun din eh. Ganun din ang nangyari. Walang ultimate facts na describe sa mga kaso na graft and corruption na yun kay VP Sara mismo, grave violation of Constitution na yun, other high crimes na yun, wala eh. Kaya nga, sinasabi namin that what is good for the gander should likewise be good for the goose. Eh, dinismiss nyo doon kay Presidente Marcos, dapat dito rin kay VP Sara, i-dismiss ninyo. Eh, doon kay Presidente Marcos, hindi nga kayo nag-issue ng mga sabpina eh. Dito, mga sabpina ninyo, maski mga tao walang kinalaman doon sa impeachment complaint, pinapasabpina. Anong klase yan? Pati law firms, pinapasabpina. Pati yung mga ibang mga entities na hindi described sa complaint, pinapasabpina. That is overreach to our mind. And by the way, we are joined by Attorney Wendell Abisado and Attorney aking pong kaibigan, no? Si Attorney James Reserva of Butuan. Why? Because some people intend to later on.
Thank you very much, Attorney Torion. We have questions here from the media. We have Hector Lawas from abogado.com.ph for Attorney Torion. Is the petition premature in as much as the camp of VP Sara says that the proper forum is the Senate and not the House Committee on Justice?
No, it's not premature. Specifically in this case, that the Committee on Justice already decided to issue a subpoena, and subpoena has in fact been issued. And therefore, we have the right to inquire as to whether or not it is within the power of the House of Representatives, specifically Committee on Justice, to conduct such investigation in such a manner as to in fact, search for evidences when these evidences are not even attached in the complaint itself. The duty of the Committee on Justice, to our humble mind, is that it is a constitutional task to actually be the investigator itself and look for evidences in order to strengthen the case. They never did that to President Marcos. Why do it against VP Sara Duterte? That's an equal protection clause matter that deserves to be raised to the Supreme Court as the highest court of the land.
If I may add, sa sinabi ng Attorney Torion, alam mo ninyo, the reason why we go to the Supreme Court and file this petition for certiorari of prohibition, precisely because we are asking the court to intervene and allocate constitutional boundaries to this legislative overreach. Sumusobra side of the constitutional law, the House the House of Representatives Committee on Justice is already operating outside of the constitutional orbit. That is why we have decided, when they started issuing subpoena, to go to the Supreme Court to appeal. There is no other place, simple and adequate remedy in the ordinary course. Issue 65, the certiorari and prohibition.
Thank you very much, Attorney Vic. Yes, a question from the floor.
Good afternoon, Pam from Third Floor Studio. Do you expect the SC of the House's procedural process in handling the Vice President's impeachment? And what if they argue that your initiative is political, given that the PDP brand is strongly reflected in your composition? First question is, do you expect this filing to test the veracity of the House's procedural process?
Not just to test, but to strike down this legislative overreach. That is the primary purpose. We are not here to test the constitutional process being observed in the House of Representatives. It is our position that there is a clear violation of the Constitution. And that is why, again, we ran to the Supreme Court precisely for the court to intervene and allocate constitutional boundaries in this burning issue that we are all dealing with today. For the second,
The second question is, what if they argue that your initiative is political, given that the PDP brand is strongly reflected in your composition?
well, it's up to them. As sila rin naman lagi nagsasabi na yung impeachment process is more political than legal, which is also wrong. Because in the decision of then by Senior Associate Justice Marvick Leonen, while acknowledging that impeachment is a sui generis, sinabi rin doon malinaw that it is not exclusively political but rather a play of both legal and political. And we come here, I personally, I speak for myself, again, to try to strike down the unconstitutional process being observed in the House of Representatives. And secondly, to put a stop, to put a break, preno muna dito sa wanton waste of public funds. The people are already hard up. Our public coffers are already bleeding, nauuwi sa korupsyon, and they are busy with wanton waste of public funds and public resources. That is my reason for joining as one of the petitioners.
If I may add, no, para maintindihan po ng ating mga kababayan, final po namin ito kasi kung tingnan mo kahapon, yung ginagawa ng mga congresspersons natin, nakakaloka talaga, nakakaloka na. Bakit nakakaloka? Well, it has become a fishing expedition. The House Committee on Justice is supposed to limit itself in accordance with what is stated and contained in the impeachment complaint. It is not supposed to become the investigator and the evidence gatherer for the impeachment complaint. If it lacks sufficiency in form, it lacks sufficiency in substance, it only has one direction, and that is to dismiss the case. But what they are doing in this case is actually conducting a fishing expedition, which to our mind should be struck down by the Supreme Court because it has become an affront to the dictates or to the contours of the powers granted by the 1987 Constitution to the House of Representatives.
Last question from our end. Was it necessary or there is a violation in issuing subpoena to one of Vice President's defense lawyers, Attorney Powa, at this early stage?
That is precisely one of the we filed the petition itself because we are aware all lawsuits students know the lawyer-client relationship. It is a cross-up. And if you actually involve the lawyer who is merely performing his job, then lawyers later on may not be able to perform his or her functions efficiently and effectively. That is similar to a priest-penitent relationship, governed not only by our rules but by our laws likewise. And to expand the impeachment complaints investigation and subpoena to the lawyer, to our mind, is really overreach and must be clipped by the Supreme Court. And that is why that is one of the reasons why we filed this case in the first place.
Another question here from Tech Torres, Tupas of Inquirer. Aside from the March 25 issuances, are there specific documents or witnesses that the committee is targeting that you believe fall entirely outside the original allegations? Are there specific documents or witnesses the committee is targeting that fall outside the original allegations?
Actually, yes. I actually conducted a comparison chart, no, of the statements made in the complaint. There are actually 12. And they asked for subpoena 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 12. Okay? Just to give you a concrete example, no? So as to properly inform the inquirer on the matter. In the allegation of there is this allegation, Salden, unexplained wealth, non-disclosure theory. In the third complaint of Sabalia, under Article 5, it invokes unexplained wealth and Salden, non-disclosure, alleges that respondent's salary could not explain hundreds of millions in her bank accounts, and concludes that she failed to disclose assets and true net worth. You can find this under paragraphs 285 to 290 of the complaint. And in the fourth complaint of Cabrera, under Article 5, it refers to preliminary documentary leads, public records, omissions and inconsistencies in salents, suspicious cash flows, possible nominee arrangement, and asks for bank records and forensic accounting that can be found in paragraphs 233 to 243 and paragraphs 247 to 2022 and 2022. It's subpoenaed for ITRs of VP Sara and Manasseh Carpio. It subpoenaed the SEC general information sheets, audited financial statements, and corporate documents of multiple companies which are not even stated in the complaint. SEC corporate records motions approved. So, our remarks here, our comment is that this is with specificity, yet operations evidence nor in the complaint, and that the corporation were not mentioned nor included in the complaint. This committee was not specifically pleaded for one. So that is just one example. I can cite to you 9 other examples, and for lack of material time, I can just send to you a comparison chart to prove my point that the committee here is not actually investigating. It is conducting a clear fishing expedition which is not sanctioned under the 1987 Constitution or in the rules of the House of Representatives.
Yes. To assist the point of Attorney Torion, in the recent cases of Sara Duterte versus HOR and Torion et al. Versus HOR, the ponente in this case, Justice Leonen, has specifically stated that one of the reasons why the original impeachment process was struck down is because under paragraph 6, the basis of any charge must be for impeachable acts or omissions committed in relation to their office and during the current term of the impeachable officer. The subpoenas for the son-in of VP Sara for the years where she was still mayor of Davao City and not yet vice president should actually not fall under the ambit of this current investigation process of the Committee on Justice. We can see here that there is really a fishing expedition to look at ano ba ang pwede nila tingnan para mabahira nila ng masamang komento ang ating Vice Presidente. It's clear that under due process, only acts done during her term where she na sa time na which is very, very wrong. Let's
So, viral pa naman yan. Baka sabihin nila, isang example niya, Tornito yun sa kanya, look, it's late to respond that. Look, it does not specifically even while alleging unexplained wealth and non-disclosure, paragraphs 285 to 290. In the fourth paragraph, Article 5, it speaks just structures, associates, relatives, or corporate vehicles
sa kanyang ginagawa. If they want to continue, they want to continue, they will continue. Kaya ang amin, kaya lang kami tumakbo sa Korte Suprema. And if I may add to the question a while ago by PB Blanco, the reason why we run to the Supreme Court, because we are optimistic that because of the urgency and the importance of the issue at hand, the Supreme Court will not hesitate to strike down matters that are patently unconstitutional. Now, we do not want to get ahead of the entire judicial process. We will take it a day at a time. And again, as to the comment of the lawmaker part of the impeachment process, we are not saying that he stop right here, right now. No. Kung ihinto niya, mabuti. Because we're not going to personally benefit from it. Ang aming kinakatawan din dito, yung nagturo muna ng public funds natin. Wala nang pera mga Pilipino. Ang dami na nilang inataw. Gutom na tao, and coming up here, I spoke to you briefly, and you just informed me, by next week, there will be another round of a fuel price increase. Ilang increase pa ba para matauhan sila na dapat ang tugunan muna itong hinaharap nating global economic, oil, and energy crisis. Not this House Chow impeachment that they are now hearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Justice.
Yes, to add to that, no, we all know that the Committee on Justice is acting akin to a prosecutor, same sa criminal cases. No? So what does a prosecutor do in cases na ganito? It's just a preliminary investigation. Titignan if what is included in the complaint matches whatever crime has been committed. And that should be the case in this impeachment also. We can see that there are so many issues na hindi nalagay sa complaint, pero gusto talaga nilang tingnan, balik-balikan. Let us be guided by the case of Duterte versus Sandigan Bayan. There are two purposes of a preliminary investigation. First is to secure the innocent against hasty, malicious, and oppressive persecution. Let's ask ourselves, ito ba ang ginagawa ng HOR ngayon, ng Committee on Justice? Are they doing anything hasty, malicious, or oppressive? The second is, and it's a practical purpose, no, which is, sabi ni Atty. Vic talaga, this is something that we should think about. To protect the state from having to conduct useless and expensive trials. So we are already guided by the issuances of the Supreme Court before pa on what really preliminary investigation is. So considering that it is the procedure of the HOR is akin to that of the prosecutor, should not we also be guided by these two guidelines? So that's the point that we are trying to make here as the petitioners in this certiorari case.
One last issue lang, no, doon kay Representative Joy Chua. Pakisabi lang ni Congressman, baka naman gusto nyo imbestigahan yung grabe pagtaas ng ating gasolina. Tayo ata ang the only country in the world na may pinakamataas, steep masyadong spike ng gasolina, which affected so many people na. If you go to my town in Bansalan, in Matanao, Davao del Sur, mamahal ka ng mga bilihin doon. Yung sana pagtuunan ng pansin ng Kongreso, paano tayo makaahon dito sa malaking krisis ngayon. Hindi itong impeachment kay VP Sara, klaro naman na politically driven ito at walang kabuluhan itong mga kasong ito. Kaya nga dumulog na kami sa Korte Suprema Kasi alam nga naman, dumulog kami doon sa Kongreso, hindi naman nila kami pakikinggan. So, dumulog na lang kami doon sa Korte Suprema. Imbestigahan nila itong ating, bakit malaki masyado yung presyo ng ating gasoline. Tayo ang may pinakamataas na spike sa buong Asia. Yes. Alam mo, bago ko final itong kaso na ito, nagpadala po ako ng sulat doon po sa Committee on Justice. The night before they began their proceedings, I wrote a letter. They never replied. Pero ang naging resulta naman, the day after, withdraw yung second complaint. Withdraw yung second kasi doon sa letter ko, sabi ko kasi, yung first two complaints, premature yun kasi that was before February 6. And the Supreme Court in Duterte versus House of Representatives and Torion versus House of Representatives was very clear. Any and all impeachment complaint should be filed no later than February 6. February 1 and 2 yun eh. So, sabi ko, dapat na-dismiss yun. Ang ginawa nila, pagka morning, 8:15, withdraw nila yung second complaint. Bakit withdraw? Kasi sabi ko, yung third complaint effective din yan, aside from being repackaged. Ay, tagalugin ko na lang ha. Na-prove ko naman siguro sa inyo, marunong din ako mag-English. No? Yung third complaint kasi was sponsored by Representative De Lima. The second complaint likewise was sponsored by Secretary De Lima. Kaya nga sa opening statement ko, ang sabi ko, an endorsement is a sacrosanct process. Why? Because it gives legislative sanction on an act of an individual in filing a complaint before the House of Representatives, an impeachment complaint. Now, the representative therefore must also ensure and see to it that the recitations in the complaint contain ultimate facts which should amount to the crimes mandated in the 1987 Constitution, such as betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, etc., etc. And doon kasi, nag-endorse si Representative De Lima sa second, and at the same time, mas improve na ito pag-endorse din, hindi naman po pwede yun sa tingin namin. Sa process yan, hindi naman po pwede na, okay ito. At the same time, okay din ito kasi mas improve, hindi po pwede yan. Sa amin yan, dapat yan, yung third complaint, defective yun, dismiss yung kagad. Yung fourth complaint naman, sabi naman namin, rehas na naman yan, noon pa yan. I-apply niyo yung committee resolution ng 111. Doon kasi, sa kaso against kay Presidente Marcos, dinismiss ninyo kasi nga, kulang-kulang yung mga complaints, wala silang sinabi, wala silang mga ebidensya, which should amount to graft and corruption, bribery, etc. So, dinismiss nila, i-apply din ninyo yan kay Vice President Duterte. Hindi. They push with graft and corruption, bribery, etc. So, dinismiss nila, i-apply din ninyo yan kay Vice President Duterte. Hindi. They push with the third and fourth impeachment complaint. So, saan kami dudulo? Dudulog kami sa Korte Suprema. Kasi pinagkaloob naman yan ng ating saligang batas sa amin. Yan po ang ginawa niya.
We have a question from Facebook. Bisaya ni pero i-translate na lang ako for the benefit of our other guests. Attorney, totoo po ba na na-unfreeze na yung mga accounts sa flood control? Bakit hindi nila yung inuna? Bakit ito pang impeachment?
Tama yung komento, no? We're talking of billions of pesos na allegedly, trillion, sabi ni Atty. Boben, na nawala din sa flood control controversy. So, dapat yun yung inuna. This one, it involves a small amount, no? So, nawawala na sa issue na siyang isyong nakakasakit sa mga Pilipino. Dapat yung issue ng flood control, yung tutukan ng Kongreso, yun nga lang, kung ayaw talaga nila na malaman natin yung katotohanan, nililihis tayo sa ibang mga topiko kagaya ng impeachment. I would just like to make a comment. This petition has been filed with the Supreme Court. Malaki po yung role ng Korte Suprema para maging maayos ang ating bansa at magkaroon ng political stability. Kaya yung mga malalaking issue na may mga pending na kaso sa Korte Suprema, ako po ay umapila sa ating mga justices. Sana po mabigyan na po ng mga desisyon ito. Gaya yung sa kaso ni Tatay Digong, yung china-challenge natin na arbitrary arrest niya at pinadala siya sa ibang bansa, magiging birthday na ni Tatay Digong bukas. Sana po to our Supreme Court Justices, to the Chief Justice, as an officer of the court, I would like to appeal that at the earliest possible time, please put a decision to the case regarding our former President Duterte. Salamat po.
Last two questions. Yes,
Good afternoon. I will follow na Ms. Ford. Anybody po, baka nagulit na rin yung question. Can the Vice President be compelled to attend the HO, the Committee on Justice?
Again, thank you, Ruth. The reason why we ran to the Supreme Court, primarily because of a clear patent violation of the Constitution in the process being observed by the House of Representatives. And we did not invent this yesterday or this morning when we filed the petition. It's very clear in the Constitution. There is only one entity that will act as the impeachment court, where trial or litigation will be held, and that is within the exclusive ambit of authority or jurisdiction of the Philippine Senate, not of the House of Representatives, more so, not of a mere House of Representatives standing committee. Ang kanila lang is to determine whether there is sufficiency in form, substance, and grounds. But walang trial, walang mini-trial. Paano pag pinayagan natin yung mini-trial version nila? Yung mini-trial version, yung findings ba niyan, will be adopted in toto by the Senate, assuming umabot sa Senate itong impeachment. Paano magdidinig ang Senado? Anong mangyayari sa findings sa mini-trial kung hindi papaningan ng Senado? That will create a crisis. That is why the framers of our Constitution made it very, very clear. While under Article 11, Section 3, all impeachment complaint shall be initiated before the House of Representatives. Hanggang doon lang sila. Pagdating sa pagdinig, pagdating sa trial, pagdating sa presentation of evidence and counter evidence, Senado lang at walang iba. Malinaw yan.
Thank you, Attorney Vic. How positive, sirs, are you that the Supreme Court will act swiftly on the certiorari petition that you have been filed today?
Well, this is a case of transcendental importance, no? And we can only hope and pray that the Supreme Court will act on the matter fast, no? And we could not dictate upon the discretion of the Supreme Court, but we are hoping as taxpayers and citizens of the Republic that since the matters that are discussed, raised in our petition are so important, that they would likewise act on the same right away. Now, regarding your first question as to whether or not the Vice President can be compelled to testify, no? We would like to invite your attention to Article 3, Section 17 of the 1987 Constitution, insofar as the right against self-incrimination. No? A person cannot be compelled to testify against himself. And this right can be applied in criminal, civil, or administrative cases. There is just one issue here. As to whether or not the right can be invoked in a blanket manner or in a specific manner. When I say specific manner, when a particular question is asked, and that is when a person can invoke his or her right. And here, it is within the discretion of the Vice President to invoke her blanket right to refuse to testify because of her own reasons. And we are talking here of an impeachable office. She occupies the second highest position of the land, being the Vice President, voted by 32 million people. And since there is still a process that is being conducted by the Committee on Justice, maybe, just maybe, I can only speculate, that she has taken the option of invoking such right in a blanket manner. And still, there is no violation on her part, on the part of the proceedings before the Committee on Justice, because that is one of her option provided by law, and she is simply availing the same.
Thank you. Last question from Sir Dennis Nelson.
to Dean Attorney Estrelito Torion. Thanks for the invitation. Paeskwelahan ko lumos JMC para abogado pero hindi pa mabasa. Sorry. Anyway, Dean, if in case pa, let's put it this way. In a picture, if in case the TRO will be granted, then how many days pa yun?
Indefinite pa.
Indefinite. So, for the sake sa mga nagmamahal kay VP Sara sa Binisaya pa, kung sa kay mahitabo pa, what will be the next picture or scenario will happen if in case? Kay murag ang mga tao karon murag wa nagatanong kasi kinabuhat sa kung hindi yung nangyari ngayon sa yung sinabi ni Attorney Vic Rodriguez. Crisis na tayo masyado ngayon. Lahat na taas na. Katulad ng mga pupot ng taas. So, I mean, let's be frank about it. Real talk, Attorney Torion. So, if in case, what will happen if in case your ERO will be granted? Indefinite, so hindi kaya magkaroon ng ibang move ang House of Representatives regarding the impeachment against the Vice President, Attorney Torion?
Well, para sa mga estudyante ng batas, ang TRO sa, what you call this, sa RTC, may 3 days TRO yan. Tapos, within the 3 days TRO, RTC Regional Trial Court, there will be a summary hearing whether or not it should be extended to 20 days. Then, during the 20-day period, there is a summary hearing again that will be conducted in order for the court to determine whether or not a preliminary injunction is to be granted. And the preliminary injunction in the RTC subsists while the case is pending. In the Court of Appeal, 60 days yung TRO.
Okay.
Sa, sa Korte Suprema, indefinite po. So, ang mangyayari, yung kaso kasi natin, pinayan natin sa Supreme Court. Kung mag-grant yung TRO namin, indefinite po yan, unless reversed by the Supreme Court. So, ang mangyayari po yan, kung mag-grantan kami ng TRO, wala na pong hearing.
Diretso na sila.
Oo, wala nang proceeding ng Committee on Justice in the meantime. Okay? Or depende din sa tenor ng Supreme Court on how it would word the restraining order. Pero ang sa akin yan, kung may TRO, mabuti yan sa ating bansa. Kasi makakonsentrate na yung mga congressmen natin kung ano ang dapat gagawin natin, anong mga hakbang, anong mga batas ang ipapasa natin para matugunan itong grabe na krisis kapag taas ng gasolina ng ating bansa. At matulungan naman nila, makapag-suggest sila sa ating presidente kung anong gagawin. Kasi sa tingin ko kasi ang ating presidente, hindi niya alam anong gagawin eh. So, yun po ang aking nakikita ko.
Leading aside po, Attorney Vic Rodriguez. Ano po niyo si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez? Kasi ang tanong ko, parang, I hope I'm not wrong, kung yung narinig ko na, parang siya lang yata nag-oppose na hindi siya bumoto. Before bumoto, tapos ngayon hindi na bumoto.
Si Kong Rufus is a friend, but when we see each other, since we are both Rodriguez, we address each other as primo. Yun ang biroan namin.
Okay.
And, well, naiintindihan niya, naging din si Dean Rufus eh. So, ang ating niya, yung nakakaunawa sa batas, ay kinakailangan itaguyod mo ang ating saligang batas. Hindi pwedeng pagka-convenient lamang, and then you will raise the constitutional observance of what you're doing. Pagka hindi na convenient sa'yo, wala ng konstitusyon. That is exactly what is happening now. Hindi pwede nilang iba yung sukatan na ginamit nila para kay Bongbong, iba yung sukatan na ginagamit nila ngayon para kay Vice President Rodríguez Duterte. And again, let us not be swayed by their false narrative, their false argument that impeachment process is purely political. Again, let me all bring you back to the decision 10 by Senior Associate Justice Marvic Yonen. Malinaw niyang sinabi, while it is sui generis, it is not exclusively political. So if that's the reading of what impeachment process is all about, it's a play of both legal and political. It cannot be one over the other. Otherwise, ito na yung nangyayari, they are violating the Constitution, and we are in fact helping them to correct the many violations by running to the court and invoking yung Rule 65.
Attorney Acosta, lastly, pahabol pa rin kay Attorney Vic. Sir, you were once the Executive Secretary of the President. How would you put now Marcos administration? Do we still have the future before 2028? May mangyari pa ba kaya? O kung si Dean Torion tumakbo before ng Davao del Sur as governor na sabi niya ay paglaong na. Pero karon, do you think may paglaong na? O wala na talagang paglaong? Wala nang pag-asa ang bansang Pilipinas?
Huwag kang mawawala ng pag-asa sa Pilipinas, huwag kang mawawala ng pag-asa sa Pilipino.
Yes.
Mahirap yung laban. Sinasalaula ng Marcos Jr. administration lahat. Ninanakaw ang pera. Mahirap ang laban. Pero hindi natin dapat sukuan ang ating bansang Pilipinas. Hindi natin dapat sukuan ang Pilipino. In fact, tulong-tulong tayo, ayusin natin ang ating bansa. Hindi na ho para sa atin, kundi sa bawat kabataang Pilipino.
So, ito kasi, hindi bagong Pilipinas as what you have said, hindi bagong Pilipinas, kundi may bagong pag-asa sa Pilipinas.
Hindi tayo dapat mawala ng pag-asa sa pagsisilbi at pagmamahal sa ating bansa. At hindi natin dapat sukuan ang bawat Pilipino. Wow!
Thank you very much, Attorney Picture.
Thank you very much. That ends our question and answer portion. Thank you very much for dropping this
Thank you
out.
everyone.
We will be releasing copies of the statement later on. Thank you very much.
Hindi ka naman live sir. Don't hear. Thank you. Picture ka.
Attorney, kanina yan padalas. Yes. Ayan.
Yes. And we prepared this yesterday 11:45. Wala nang tulugan hanggang sa 5.
Kayo mismo nag-pilot yun?
Yung e-filing na kasi ngayon. Pero meron akong staff din na lahat. Expenses na lang. Wala lang. reasonable time, please put a decision to the case regarding our former President Duterte. Salamat po.
Last two questions. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I will follow the Ms. Ford. Anybody po ay baka nagulit na rin yung question. Can the Vice President be compelled to attend the HO, the Committee on Justice?
Again, thank you, Ruth. The reason why we ran to the Supreme Court, primarily because of a clear patent violation of the Constitution in the process being observed by the House of Representatives. And we did not invent this yesterday or this morning when we filed the petition. It's very clear in the Constitution. There is only one entity that will act as the impeachment court, where trial or litigation will be held, and that is within the exclusive ambit of authority or jurisdiction of the Philippine Senate, not of the House of Representatives, more so, not of a mere House of Representatives Standing Committee. Ang kanila lang is to determine whether there is sufficiency in form, substance, and grounds. But walang trial, walang mini-trial. Paano pag pinayagan natin yung mini-trial version nila? Yung mini-trial or jurisdiction of the Philippine Senate, not of the House of Representatives, more so, not of a mere House of Representatives Standing Committee. Ang kanila lang is to determine whether there is sufficiency in form, substance, and grounds. But walang trial, walang mini-trial. Paano pag pinayagan natin yung mini-trial version nila? Yung mini-trial version, yung findings ba niyan, will be adopted in toto by the Senate, assuming umabot sa Senate itong impeachment. Paano magdidinig ang Senado? Anong mangyayari sa findings sa mini-trial kung hindi papaningan ng Senado? That will create a crisis. That is why the framers of our Constitution made it very, very clear. While under Article 11, Section 3, all impeachment complaint shall be initiated before the House of Representatives. Hanggang doon lang sila. Pagdating sa pagdinig, pagdating sa trial, pagdating sa presentation of evidence and counter evidence, Senado lang at walang iba. Malinaw yan.
Thank you, Attorney Vic. How positive, sirs, are you that the Supreme Court will act swiftly on the certiorari petition that you have been filed today?
Well, this is a case of transcendental importance, no? And we can only hope and pray that the Supreme Court will act on the matter fast, no? And we would not dictate upon the